joint presentation. I have Jonas Brown with me as well, and he is our representative from Coca-Cola, and he brought a team with him. They got a little bit lost on the way here, probably because I didn't give them very good directions. So I apologize for a little bit of that last minute commotion. But they're going to show us how we can change the syrup barrels into our water barrels, which is really great. So that's the team effort that we have going. So from the water conservation side, what are we going to talk about? What is water conservation? We really want to give a little bit of a context to that, and why is it important? What is drought and how it connects to water conservation? And I think this week is very apropos to talk about drought because we've had so much rain. And I'm going to be really interested, I'll share a little bit later what the drought monitor is. When the new one comes out on Thursday, how it's going to change. I'm not sure it's really going to change that much, and I'll share why. And then ways that we can conserve water, both indoors and out, because we use water in both. And then on to the last part of the hands-on with rain barrels. So what is water conservation? Well, if you get into the really, high-end kind of technical, Wikipedia gives us a pretty good definition, I thought. It's the policies and strategies and activities to manage fresh water as a sustainable resource. And I think sustainable is really key because we have a growing population. We're using water more and more in every day. So what is sustainable? To protect our environment, to meet our current and future and needs. In a nutshell, the curtailment of water use and doing less with the water that we currently have. I like that one a lot. And I love this. Every drop counts. So if someone says, oh, this is just a little bit of water, it's not going to do much in the grand scheme. Well, if everybody actually had that attitude and actually tried to conserve those every little drop, then you'd have a lot of water saved. So why is water conservation important? What I found interesting, I really like this graphic. So the one on the left, on your left, is looking at how much of the country was in drought over the past, I think, 13 years. And so you can really see a jump as we get into 2012, 2013. I think 2014 would have been even more. I couldn't find the graphic updated for 14, going into 15. But what you can kind of see is 2012, we saw an increase over anything that we've seen since 2000. And again, I think 2014 would have been even more so than that. And that's looking at the country as a whole. But we've had 36 states experience or will experience local, regional, or even statewide water shortages in 2013 and the first half of 14. And that kind of reflects back to that graphic. 36 states, it's a lot of states across this country. And that includes states that are not used to being in drought. So we've got a lot of mindset changes that we have to shift across the country. Oops, wrong way. I did go the wrong way. Okay, so what are the types of drought? Well, we have the one that probably most people are familiar with, the meteorology drought, and that's really just looking at precipitation. Then you get into the agricultural. What is the impact on our agriculture, on our farms, on our cattle, on our animals? And then you get into more of the hydrologic, looking at our water supply sources, and that's not only our rivers and reservoirs, but that's also looking at our groundwater supplies, looking at our aquifers. And then you get into the social economic, which kind of takes all of them into perspective, and that's kind of where that drought monitor comes into play. So we're really trying to look at all the different aspects of drought. Switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about water costs, because yes, water conservation is a wonderful thing, good for the society, things like that. But there's actually a dollar amount associated with this. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So a typical household uses 260 gallons of water per day. Average family spends $1,100 per year. I think this number is probably underdone, especially if you are in a water district. Because when I lived in Edmond, we were in a water district, and we went into drought, our water rates hiked. I had neighbors that had $500 water bills for 1 month because they were hiking those rates so much. So I think this is really underdone depending upon where you live. But you can kind of see the breakout. I thought that was really interesting of how much of our water is because it's leaks. We haven't fixed our leaks. That's such an easy thing to fix. And we're not using it. So if you have leaks, find them and fix them. And so the other thing, you mentioned taking shorter showers. Yeah, we do use a lot of water with our showers. We do like our showers. There's an additional cost for water. Not only do we have the cost for the water itself, but there's the cost of the energy if you're heating up your water. So if you just let your water faucet run for 5 minutes, It uses as much energy as a 60-watt bulb for 22 hours. And you have to think about it, not only if it's hot water, you've got your water for your hot water tank, but there's a cost for your water treatment system to actually treat the water so that you can have clean water. So you really kind of want to think when you use your water. The secondary cost, again, with your electric water heaters, most people spend about 1/4 of their electric bill if they have an electric water heater to keep their hot water hot. So that really is, to me, an advocate for the tankless hot water heaters because we're spending a lot of money keeping our hot water hot. So now we're going to be moving into the rain barrel perspective. The concept is that when it rains, you collect the water and then you wait and use it when you need it. So you're not necessarily going to use it now because we're nice and moist. But once we start drying out again, then you're going to want to use it. And it can save an average of about 1,300 gallons per year. So you can buy pre-assembled if you really don't want to be handy yourself, but they're a little bit pricey. I saw them anywhere between 80 to about 150, 200 bucks. But they've got all sorts of types and varieties, kind of decorative. And the do-it-yourself kits, there's a couple of different ways that you, the conversion kits, which we are going to have tonight. And then there's some instructions of how do you install the conversion kit, but we've got our masters over here that are going to help us do that.
We've already pre-drilled the holes in the barrel for you.
Awesome.
You don't have to do anything on that. Yes, all barrels. All of them have the downside. I got to paint this one. And my wife, who's here somewhere. Every barrel, make sure you grab a kit with it. It has all the spigot, the downspout, and the hose, and the drill bit that you'll need to go into your downspout. So it's all there, everything you need except for a drill. The bottom one, different sizes, it just screws right into it. So I'm not going to screw it all the way in because I've done this about 50 times. So. And then you have a flexible hose that goes to your downspout that can move. You just want to make sure it's level with your downspout, like she said on the video. So the water, you don't want it to be up too tall because it'll keep putting water into the barrel. It could overflow. And then the downspout spigot that you put in there, you drill a hole. It's got each kit has a drill kit. The big one is for the downspout. So all you got to do is put that on your drill bit, drill it out. And then you have your converter. They do say put a pantyhose on it before you put it in just to keep bugs and stuff from going in there. And then you'll just squeeze it with that and sticking up. Most of the water will go through the center. It catches just a little bit of water around the edges and goes into the barrel. So it doesn't, not all the water from the downspout goes into the barrel. So that's good. In the winter, you can just flip it upside down, nothing goes in the barrel. Just unhook your hose, drain your barrel so it doesn't freeze, and just turn it upside down. There's 2 screws that go into it, and they're supplied. So really, you'll have to, when you're home, drill a hole in your downspout, put the grommet in there, 2 screws in it, and then put this hose on it.
They about dozen trips on.
Here we go.
Ta-da! What's that for?
All right.
Come on, man, you got it.